You may think that March is the time to begin scouting winter wheat fields, but according to Stephen Wegulo, a Nebraska Extension plant pathologist, April is the best time to start scouting. Stephen says it is important to wait for the wheat to grow in the spring before searching for diseases. Some early season wheat diseases include stripe rust, fungal leaf spots, and powdery mildew. We sat down with Stephen to learn more about these diseases and how producers can scout their wheat fields.
So wheat will be emerging somewhere in March, probably mid to late March. It will be emerging out of dormancy. And at that time, there will be very few disease problems that are visible. So people need to wait until the wheat grows a little bit, and then in April, that's the perfect timing for scouting. And there are two reasons to scout for diseases. One is that you can detect diseases early that then you can plan to control during the current growing season. The other reason is that there are some diseases that you may not be able to control during the current growing season, but when you know that they are there, for example, soil-borne diseases, then you can plan to manage them the following growing season. There are a couple of ways you can do scouting. You can scout the entire field, or if the field is very large, you can divide that field into 2 or 3 sections and then scout each section individually. You determine your pattern that you want to scout and then choose a point at the corner of the field and then follow that pattern. So if it's a zip pattern, you walk and you determine a specific distance that you walk while you are looking at the wheat crop, and then every 300 or 500 feet, you stop and then take a more detailed look at the plants in that spot.
According to Stephen Wegulo's Crop Watch article titled Start Scouting for Wheat Diseases, early season wheat diseases in Nebraska are stripe rust, fungal leaf spots, and powdery mildew. Stripe rust, the #1 Nebraska wheat disease, consists of yellow rust pustules found on both the lower and upper canopy. Stripe rust can also be found on young wheat, but will not appear as stripes until the wheat plant is mature. The most common early-season fungal leaf spot disease in Nebraska wheat are tan spot and Septoria leaf blotch. These fungal leaf spot diseases are not distinguishable during the early stages of wheat development. However, they consist of spots with brown necrotic centers surrounded by yellow halos. These spots start on the lower leaves and progress up the plant, and can also enlarge into large dead areas on the wheat leaves. Tan spot and Septoria leaf blotch are the most severe in fields with wheat residue on the soil surface. On the other hand, powdery mildew that contains the characteristics of white, cottony patches of mycelium and condium on the plant surface favors high humidity and can only be found in the lower canopy. Wheat producers should also be aware of wheat streak mosaic and be able to recognize the indications of nutrient deficiencies.
When you see general yellowing and stunting, then that's an indication that you may be having nutrient deficiencies. So at each spot where you stop when scouting, if you see yellowing and stunting, it's a good idea to dig up those plants, a few plants, and examine the roots. When you examine the roots, you may notice that maybe the yellowing could be due to a root and crown rot disease.
According to Stephen, wheat producers should also scout their wheat fields for head diseases. These head diseases consist of common blunt, also known as sinking smut, loose smut, and fusarium head blight, also known as scab.
So with scab, it bleaches the heads, and you'll just see the heads turn white over pretty much short period of time. It's very sudden. So those are the head diseases you look for, but you look for them starting mid-May to early June when the wheat crop is heading.